Growing concerns from lawmakers over the dramatic impact Trump tariffs will have on the U.S. economy, with a 145% tariff on China, a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico, and 10% tariffs on dozens of other countries. The flow of goods into the U.S. is expected to slow dramatically. This while the president continues to argue tariffs are needed to boost manufacturing jobs in the U.S., offering this comment when asked about the slowdown at American ports.
But we're seeing, as a result, the ports here in the U.S., the traffic has really slowed, and now thousands of dock workers and truck drivers are worried about their jobs.
Yeah, no, that means we lose less money. You know, when I see that, that means we lose less money.
I think he's missing the point there. Let's bring in former California Democratic Representative Katie Porter. I'm glad that brought a laugh. She's also a candidate for governor of California, which means you got a lot of work ahead of you, as one would running for such a big state governor. That said, Congresswoman, thank you so much. As a single mother in Congress, you made headlines talking about the hardships of buying bacon at the grocery store. Give us your thoughts on the president's analysis on the ports, which seems to be completely out of touch with the needs of everyday Americans.
Well, it's really not funny, and so I apologize for chuckling, but he's nuts when he says this means that somehow we're not losing money. Look, we have 0 ships departing from China a couple days ago, coming into our West Coast ports. What's that going to mean for families, for Californians? It's going to mean that there are fewer goods on the grocery store shelves, in retailers. It's going to mean higher prices. This is a simple supply-demand thing. When less items come in, the prices are able to go up. And look, manufacturers, retailers, stores, they're going to pass along these costs to consumers. And then there's all the effects on workers. It's not just dock workers. It is workers who work at retail. And disproportionately, by the way, those workers are women and are moms. And so this is going to hurt our entire economy. This is exactly why I'm running for governor, because we need someone who understands what this really means in everyday families' lives. Somebody who's listening to people, not making stuff up.
And I mean, drilling down even further at this, given the slowdown at the ports there on the West Coast where you are, I mean, what does this mean for the families as they head into, let's say, the summer months and beyond? They've got to prepare for back-to-school purchases, supplies for their kids to go to school, the clothing, all this. Do you expect to be affected?
Absolutely. Look, my son, almost inconceivably to me, just announced he could not fit into his size 14 shoes. So we're going to have to go to a 15. My daughter's backpack, I put it in the washing machine, and unfortunately, it's still filthy. We're going to need a new backpack. And by August, much less going into the holiday season, the effects of these tariffs are going to be in full swing. People often, retailers, they order in advance. So we're just at the beginning of seeing the real effects, and they're already so bad that I'm hearing day in, day out from small businesses and from everyday people in the grocery store that they are worried about this, and they want people who are going to fight Donald Trump. They want people who are going to have a strategy. It's a big part of why I'm running for governor. We need someone who will call out Donald Trump's economic policy for what it is: crazy and hurtful.
Let me just say, your son's moving into size 15 shoes. I mean, I'm a mom thinking about how tall is he? He's got to be
he's 6'4", 3",
yeah, okay.
And he really, to be honest, he's not done growing. They are downstairs right now attempting to make orange chocolate chip pancakes. And as I came upstairs to log on to the HIT, they said, "Oh, we're out of most of the ingredients. What should we do?" And I just hope they went to the grocery store to get eggs. I only hope they're not $6 or $7 eggs. And so the things that we've seen there, things like eggs, I mean, this is like the pandemic, but many, many times worse. And unlike the pandemic, this is a bad policy choice. So it's really important in these upcoming elections, whether they're for elections like California governor, whether they're for Congress, that people make choices to elect folks who understand what it's like to go shoe shopping, who understand what it's like to put those eggs in the cart or decide they can go another week without.
The New York Times reports that Democrats are channeling their focus on the plight of small businesses. They're writing that they are, quote, being forced to raise prices, lay off workers, freeze hiring, and slow sales to conserve stock as they absorb the impact of Mr. Trump's trade moves. Do you think this will be a unifying cry for Democrats, if not already?
Well, I think the cry is coming from everyday people, Alex. When I'm in the grocery store, or I have a small business owner in my district who imports Christmas items. Since he's run his business since 1983, when I was in third grade, he has never had to pay a tariff. Now his tariff is 145%. And so he is saying, I've got 53 workers. I'm going to have to lay them off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my rent for my warehouse. This is affecting real people right now. So sure, yes, Democrats in Congress and candidates should be talking about this, but whose stories we're lifting up are the real working Americans, because that's who's being hurt, is our entire economy. So sure, Donald Trump, Ivanka, these people from their gold-plated offices are not going to be affected, but how about everybody else? And Donald Trump, quite simply, has no answer for them. And that's why, as California governor, I have an answer, which is I'm going to fight to grow California's economy, and it's going to be tough because of Donald Trump. But that's why we need people who are really, really smart about economic issues, who are really listening to where the pain points are for families, because Donald Trump is making it harder, but I'm all in on the fight to make it better for California families.
Well, do definitely come back and talk to us about that as you pursue the gubernatorial position there in California. In the meantime, enjoy your chocolate chip pancakes for Mother's Day. They sound yummy.
We'll see if they turned out.
Well, we're hoping. Here's to that. Thank you so much for your time.